Our lives back in our 20s were much different than they are now. You know, they consisted of going to bars, drinking, doing drugs, not so much Tanya, a little bit, but mostly me. And life was like very fast paced. It was all about having fun. So we were just in this, I don't know, this realm of darkness, really. You know, it seemed like light, but it really wasn't, you know, because it seems like, oh, you're having fun. And it was really a path to destruction and addiction, and it, you know, it changes the wiring of your mind. You know, you become a different person. And I come from a perspective of, you know, hopelessness, where I didn't have God, I didn't believe in people, I didn't see good in people. And I just wanted to isolate myself and my family from all of that, you know. Just move to a mountain somewhere and live in a cabin, and my best friend could be a squirrel or something. I don't know, whatever mountain people do.
We didn't really want relationships with people. We were pretty isolated. We didn't want to be around anybody in the world, because we saw the world like, man, all we saw was everything that was wrong, you know, with the world. And so that's kind of how we lived our lives. Really, you know, just
the two of us.
Yeah, just still so isolated and not wanting to be around people.
In the midst of all that, you know, God called me out of that, you know, kind of like, you know, when he called Abraham out of where he lived, except he was calling me out of where I lived in my mind. So
5 years ago, I would say 5 years ago, you know, I was going to bed one night and I had heard the Lord say, you know, you need to read the Bible and go to church. And I was like, what? You know, like, who is this? Everything inside of me knew that this wasn't me, and I knew that it was God.
God was calling us both in different ways. He was calling you in one way, me in another, because at the time we were really unbelievers.
We wanted nothing to do with church.
Right.
We wanted nothing to do with Christians.
Even when we got married. But it was weird, like when he was calling us both, like I, you know, just started drawing near to God. I'm like, why am I looking up stuff about God?
I heard it the first year, you know, read the Bible and go to church. Didn't understand the Bible, closed the Bible, because I was like, seriously, this is crazy. But it was like, it was something that was more in my head. And so it was the following year, like the exact same time of year. I could get all caught up on like, why was it the same time? But really the most important thing that I feel like God was speaking to me, you know, was He's been pursuing us our whole lives. Even before we were born, we were already thought of. He knew the day we would return to Him. And so that second year, I'm gonna get to this. I was going to bed on a Friday night, and I had to work the next day. And I was up much later, you know, so I was like, oh my gosh, I gotta go to bed. And then all of a sudden I hear in my heart this time, it wasn't even in my mind anymore, you need to go to church and read the Bible. And what seriously blows my mind is the fact that people who have no relationship with God, everything inside of me knew it was God. It's like literally reshaping your heart and your mind, the way that you think. Like I literally feel like God has, and I prayed that, you know, like those prayers. I'm like, God, I know that you say that there's people who need to go through and process everything in their lives. I'm like, there's so much, just take it. And literally, He took it. Like there's so much, it's so much. And He took it from us. And He's saying, now go. I am reshaping you and I've restored you. Now go.
Hope is alive in our marriage today because we made a conscious decision to put Jesus at the very foundation of our marriage. So everything is built up from that. So we look towards Him and we study the scriptures of, you know, what we do in certain circumstances in our marriage, you know, of how to treat one another, how to honor one another, how to be one flesh. You know, he's our rock, you know, he's our chief cornerstone, so
That's right.
our marriage is now built from that.